Some of the highest-rated beginner pianos on Amazon advertise weighted hammer action with no verifiable specs behind the claim. One bestseller maxes out at 32-note polyphony. In 2024, the FTC cracked down on fake reviews flooding this exact market. 5 popular beginner pianos are robbing new players of real technique, and 5 hidden gems prove you don't need to spend more. The difference starts under the keys. Full-size keyboard with 88 keys can look convincing at first glance, but what matters is what happens under your fingers. The Williams Legato is a classic example. It promises a piano-like experience for under $200, but the reality is a semi-weighted key action that never delivers the resistance or graded feel needed for proper finger strength. Early versions top out at just 32-note polyphony, which means even simple pieces can run into notes cutting off mid-phrase. Without a real sustain pedal included in the base package, beginners are left improvising with a switch or buying one separately, adding to the true cost. The built-in speakers are underpowered, making practice without headphones frustratingly quiet or thin. Generic Amazon listings for so-called weighted 88-key keyboards follow the same script. The word weighted appears in bold, but dig into the details and you'll find missing specs, no mention of polyphony, and pedals sold as add-ons. Many of these models are semi-weighted at best, with no clear explanation of how the action is built or tested. Manufacturing origins and quality control are often a mystery, and customer support can be just as elusive. Piano teachers and technicians warn that the first touch response shapes a player's entire learning path. When the keys are too light or the action is inconsistent, the hands never develop the right habits. Over time, the bargain price can turn costly if it means relearning technique or replacing the instrument. For beginners, the real danger isn't the sticker price. It's the uncertainty hidden behind marketing claims and incomplete specs. RockJam's 49-key keyboard is a fixture in the beginner bundle market, often showing up with a lesson book, headphones, and a promise of instant music making. But the shortcut starts with the keys themselves. Instead of the standard 88, you get 49 mini keys, smaller, lighter, and spaced differently than any real piano. This compressed layout forces beginners to adjust their hand positions in ways that don't transfer to full-size instruments. The unweighted action means each key moves with almost no resistance, so finger strength and control never develop the way teachers expect. Even with 200 built-in tones and rhythms, the core playing experience is closer to a toy than an instrument designed for real progress. The missing sustain pedal is more than an inconvenience. For new players, learning to coordinate hand and foot is part of basic technique. Without a pedal, students are left with habits that simply don't work on a real piano. Yet high review counts, over 10,000 on some listings, can make these keyboards look like a safe bet. The reality is that many of those reviews are boosted by aggressive marketing, SEO tricks, and in some cases, fake or incentivized ratings. The FTC's 2024 actions against review manipulation haven't fully cleaned up the environment, and a 2026 buyer guide still warns of bundles that hide weak hardware behind a wall of 5-star feedback. Music store owners see the pattern every season. Shoppers want the convenience of a complete kit, but the bundled stands, spring-loaded actions, and toy pedals quietly undermine learning. Teachers point out that the wrong key feel or a missing pedal doesn't just slow progress. It can set students back months or even years. When a product's main selling point is convenience, not correctness, beginners pay the price in wasted effort and bad habits that are hard to unlearn. The Donner DEP-20 stands out in the budget lineup because on paper it seems to check all the right boxes. It advertises a fully weighted, graded hammer action, something most competitors in the under $350 range can't match. The 128-note polyphony and 20-watt stereo speakers give it a technical edge over many entry-level models. Even the included sustain pedal is a solid zinc alloy design, a step above the flimsy plastic switches bundled with most budget kits. But when it comes to actual playing, the difference between spec sheet and real touch becomes clear. The keys are covered in glossy plastic, lacking the textured feel found on premium actions. This surface, while durable, never quite disappears under your fingers the way a good piano should. Several long-term owners mention that the action feels more substantial than a semi-weighted board, but still falls short of the nuanced resistance and graded response that define a truly convincing hammer action. For fast passages, a subtle lag in touch sensitivity can interrupt phrasing and make dynamic control feel unpredictable, something that only becomes obvious after a few weeks of regular practice. Technicians and teachers who've worked with the DEP-20 point out that while it's a better attempt than most in its price class, the tactile disconnect can lead to habits that don't transfer well to an acoustic piano. The solid pedal is a rare plus, but it can't make up for the lack of organic key feedback. At its typical price, between $299 and $350, the DEP-20 tempts buyers with numbers and features, but the real test is how it feels to play. For a beginner, that difference is everything. In the end, value is measured not by the length of the spec sheet, but by the quality of touch and the foundation it builds for future playing. Yamaha's P145 and Roland's FP10 stand out as dependable entry points for those seeking a solid foundation. The Yamaha P145 features graded hammer standard action, adapted from the Clavinova line, giving each key a weighted response that mirrors an acoustic piano. Teachers highlight this graded feel as essential for developing proper technique from the start. With 192-note polyphony, the P145 handles sustained and layered passages without notes dropping out. CFX sampled tones, taken from Yamaha's flagship Concert Grand, offer clarity and expression, while 14-watt stereo speakers provide suitable volume for home practice. The included damper pedal supports half-pedaling, encouraging early pedal discipline. Roland's FP10 approaches the fundamentals with its PHA-4 graded hammer action, borrowed from higher-priced stage pianos. Technicians praise its tactile, consistent response and dynamic range. The Supernatural sound engine delivers a nuanced, resonant tone that responds to touch. While its 96-note polyphony is lower, it remains sufficient for most beginner needs. The FP10's damper pedal also supports half-pedal operation. Both models favor authentic key response and expressive control over extra features, reflecting 2 decades of digital development that now puts strong fundamentals within reach for new players. Korg's B2 stands out by focusing on what matters for beginners: a natural weighted action that gives each key a familiar, believable feel, supporting proper finger technique from day one. With 120-note polyphony, the B2 handles layered chords and sustained pedal work without dropping notes, offering a practical middle ground for home practice. Its 12-watt stereo speakers produce a warm, balanced sound, never overwhelming, but always clear. The included damper pedal and optional Bluetooth via USB adapter keep the setup simple and honest, appealing to those who value reliability over extra features. For many, the B2 becomes the steady choice for consistent practice at home. Alesis Recital Pro approaches value from a different angle. Its fully weighted, though ungraded hammer action covers all 88 keys, giving a serious feel that's rare at this price. With 128-note polyphony and 20-watt speakers, it delivers strong sound for larger rooms or group lessons. AA battery operation adds true flexibility, making it easy to move or play anywhere without sacrificing piano feel. Both models prove that real value comes from fit and function, not just prestige. Casio's PXS 1100 stands out as proof that a beginner digital piano can be both refined and practical. The cabinet measures just 232 millimeters deep, making it one of the slimmest full-size digital pianos available. Yet inside this compact frame, Casio has packed a full 88 key weighted action, no shortcuts on the fundamentals. Teachers who have tested the PXS 1100 point to the AIR sound engine as a key advantage. This engine does not just play back samples, it adds subtle string resonance and damper effects, letting new players hear and feel the dynamic changes that happen on an acoustic piano. With 192-note polyphony, even dense passages and layered chords stay clear, supporting growth from beginner to early intermediate without the frustration of notes cutting out. Bluetooth MIDI comes standard, making it easy to connect to learning apps or recording software, but it is not the headline feature. What matters more is that the PX L100's action and sound encourage proper hand position, finger strength, and expressive control. The standard damper pedal included in the box matches what teachers expect for real technique training. Some sources list 16 watts of stereo speaker power, but the real value is how the instrument projects a natural, room-filling sound from such a slim body. For buyers who want a piano that looks as good as it plays and fits into modern living spaces without compromise, the PX S1100 quietly delivers on every front. This is where thoughtful design and serious learning capability finally meet. Every year, thousands of beginners waste real money on pianos that hold them back before they even start. In 2024, genuine quality is still out there if you know what to look for. The first step to playing well is choosing the right instrument. Choose wisely, your hands will thank you.